1869, it opened up the American West to the Southern Pacific line. 1,000 miles of wilderness, heard the hammers ring and the voices of the Gandhi dancers sing. Southern Pacific, roll on, from Chicago through the Rockies, America's your home. Portland to New Orleans, all along the Golden Crest. Southern Pacific, the spirit that won the West. On spikes and ties laid down in time, some old fiddle is real. We're forever stitched together with a million miles of steel. Right on the clock, that rolling stock helps keep this country great. As long as there's a USA, SP will haul the freight. Southern Pacific, roll on, from Chicago through the Rockies, America's your home. Portland to New Orleans, all along the Golden Crest. Southern Pacific, the spirit that won the West.
We got it now. Just nick of time.
Proud and strong, coupled hand to hand, pulling every grade and curve, a single heart and mind, making sure the job gets done out on the SP line. Southern Pacific, roll on, from Chicago through the Rockies, America's your home.
You need to pick the same screen for OBS that you got the Zoom meeting on.
Southern Pacific, the spirit that won the West.
You want to let me share my screen? Go to share screen, and then you should be able to enable it for participants. Yeah. There we go. Let's go. Make it happen. I assume you're going to do some kind of an intro first. Sounds good. All right, go for it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into tonight's January 19th stream. This is a special stream today as we have Mr. Tom Hogan here, editor-in-chief and owner of the Steel Highway magazine. He is here tonight to discuss the second issue of the Steel Highway magazine that he has he has started. Without further ado, Tom, you can go ahead and take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to give you a preview of the second issue of Steel Highway tonight, and also some of the programs and projects that we've been working on, fundraising, some of the stuff that's going on. I'm pretty excited to be able to share this with everybody. So yeah, this is a screenshot that we've got going right now, which is the front and back covers of the magazine. So the front cover, for anyone that doesn't recognize it, is, the Pierre Marquette 1225 with an appropriately hung Christmas wreath around the headlight. I thought that made for a pretty killer screenshot cover photo. Mm-hmm. And then over on the right-hand side, this shot is actually from Maine. It is, well, and I should say that the photo of the Pierre Marquette, that is a Scott Shields photo. And over on the right side, we got the back cover photo, which is an Ethan Brody photo. This is the Brighton and Saco River #7 in Sheepscott, Maine. So, and it's sitting there taking on water. So obviously we've finished our run and you got to the back cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of an interesting little segue, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So in this magazine, there are, I want to say that I counted up 16, 17, maybe 18 photographers that are featured in there. I am going to try really briefly to run down some names. Ron Amberger, Noah Brach, Ethan Brody, Rick Byrne, Ethan Cole, Andrew Elgis, Brad Grief, myself, Chris Lastovich, Ben Root, Anthony Sandoval, Patrick Shea, Scott Shields, Giles Typin, and Luke Weisenreed. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I was just trying to run down that real fast. But the idea is that we have a really diverse set of photographers. We got stuff from all over the country. And I really think that this magazine is really going to impress people when it hits their mailboxes and they're able to see it for the first time. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be really, really happy with what they see.
Yeah, I got a sneak peek at it on Monday's Craw Raw event, and I must say it does look pretty good.
Yes, I was pretty happy. They gave me a quick turnaround on the proof that I did of the magazine. They got it back to me the same day. So I brought it with us to Cedar Rapids Railfans, and I think that everybody was pretty impressed with it. Mm-hmm. Everybody that saw it was pretty impressed. I had one other person actually that came up and said after the meeting, yeah, let's how do I subscribe? I want to see some more of this. So that made me pretty happy with the results as well. Yeah. So, my wife was joking with me that she's like, you're just doing this for your railroad buddies. You're never going to make any money doing this. Well, the point is to get projects going. Yeah. The point is to get the webcams put up and the ATCS servers put up. Mm-hmm. And that's the real purpose behind this is, you're buying a magazine and you get all these fantastic photos, but you're buying into a concept. And you get to be part of something that no one person could ever accomplish on their own. Mm-hmm. But to be able to say that, yeah, we have a webcam in Dubuque and East Dubuque, and part of that is because I subscribed to this magazine and I contributed a little bit to making that happen. And that's the real benefit to this, honestly. Mm-hmm. So just to give everybody a little bit of an idea, the projects that I've got lined up for this year, we're fundraising for Dubuque and East Dubuque. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have webcams in East Dubuque. We're going to have webcam in downtown Dubuque. We're going to have a scanner radio, which will be on the Iowa side of the river. And hopefully we'll pick up the defect detectors at, let me think, there's one at Lynxville on the BNSF side, and then there's one further down.
Yeah, there's one at Murphy. Yeah, somewhere on there.
Yeah, there's one at Murphy on the east side of East Dubuque, and then there's one just on the west side of East Dubuque also.
In between East Dubuque and Ferryville, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ferryville, Potosi, somewhere in that area. So I'm hoping that from the Iowa side, we'll pick up both those defect detectors. Since we've lost the ATCS on the Aurora sub now, this is what ultimately can replace it, is if we have these webcams set up strategically every 20, 30 miles up and down the railroad, you can have a real good idea of what you're looking for, where the trains are, and how to execute a chase.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I think that the other part of this is getting the ATCS servers out for the areas that specifically on the CN and the CP, because nobody really knows. They could keep going on with ATCS for a long time.
Yeah, they could.
And no one has a real good handle, but they haven't converted anything yet.
So just BNSF so far.
Right, BNSF, and then to a lesser degree, the UP has changed over some control points as well.
Yeah.
So really, if we can get more coverage of the CN and the CP, and if the CP goes through with all their expansion of ATC or CTC, as they're talking about, that we can get coverage of ATCS on a larger area of the CP as well. So, I mean, that would be kind of the hope.
Yeah.
Now, let's dive into a few of the photos that I have that I pulled together. I don't know, a kind of a smattering of photos to give people an example of what they can see in this magazine. The first one that I'm going to show you, this is from Old Threshers in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. And this is an Anthony Sandoval photo. And this is a photo of the Surrey, Sussex, and Southampton Railway number 6, which now operates at Old Threshers in Mount Pleasant. And you can see where they're on the loop track here. They're about to knock down the semaphore. It's a really neat operation there in Mount Pleasant, if anybody ever has a chance to go check it out.
Oh, yeah.
But above and beyond that, this is just an outstanding photo, honestly.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Can never go wrong there.
Yeah. So next, we're going to skip along and we're going to see a photo of what is personally my favorite steam engine that's currently operating, the Milwaukee Road 261. Now, admittedly, I've chased this thing numerous times when it's gone up and down the state of Iowa. Obviously, it hasn't been for quite a while, but in the early 2000s, it made several trips up and down the IMRL and the IC&E through eastern Iowa, and I chased several of those. This particular photo is credited to Giles Typin, and we are in Chanhassen, Minnesota here. And this is a photo that I actually did a vertical spread of because I really wanted to get that longer perspective and be able to see, so when you read your magazine, you have to turn it 90 degrees to be able to see it, but then you get to see the real wide angle of this guy pulling through this just beautiful fall foliage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was there for this trip. Yeah, that was probably the only nice shot we got because it rained the rest of the day.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. Giles sent me so many photos, and you could tell I felt bad for him just looking through the photos and realizing the misery that you guys put yourselves through when you were chasing this thing.
Yeah, and then the next day it was perfectly sunny and couldn't ask for better weather, but it is what it is.
Right. But the trips were over. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the way it works out sometimes.
Yeah.
So then the next photo that I'm going to show you. So we have the QJ locomotives that operate on the Iowa Interstate. I actually found a photographer that was in China, mainland China, in the late 1980s.
Oh my.
And he got photos of the same QJs that are in Iowa in revenue service in the 1980s. So this is the QJ 7081, and this is now the Iowa Interstate 7081, and it hasn't operated for several years because of maintenance issues. But this is the exact same locomotive operating revenue service in mainland China.
Wow.
So there's 3 of these that we did kind of a side-by-side of. We got the 6988, which is the same one another one that the Iowa Interstate just operated this past year, the 7081, and the 6884. And he got photos of those 3. One of them, he got a really amazing roundhouse shot of it on a turntable. But you can look at it, you can see the detail in it, see just how they looked in their heyday.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can compare it with the way that these steam engines look today, which is honestly not all that different.
No, they really haven't changed much on either of them. Well, 6988 got more Americanized than 7081 did, but
it did.
I think the third one, the 6884, didn't that one go to the R.J. Corman Railroad?
It may have. I guess I might not have done enough research on that, but it may very well have. But here's the photo of the 6988 for comparison. Obviously, it's got a little different paint on it, but from the exterior, the look is just very, very similar.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things that I did in this magazine also is that there's 2 photos that have QR codes with them. One is of the Iowa Interstate 6988, and the other one is the big boy 4014. And in both cases, there's a photo with a QR code, and it has corresponding video that the QR code will link you to. So you can literally see the photo, scan the QR code, it'll take you to video on YouTube, which will show you the same engine in operation.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, the photo in the magazine is a screen grab from the video. So it's literally a representation of what you see.
Oh.
So it's kind of trying to make the magazine a little more interactive.
Yeah.
Trying to give you something to follow up on.
Mm-hmm.
And then here, this is the 4014 on the spine line near Enterprise, heading toward Des Moines, actually. And this is another Andrew Elgis photo, and it's going to show you. This is the other one where it has a link that'll take you to exactly where that video is, and you can see it doing a run by at speed, heading down the main line toward Des Moines.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. So, as the front cover would indicate, there is kind of a bit of a Christmas theme to some of the photography in here. And if I can find the right photo, just be a little bit patient with me here. So this is a Noah Braish photo. This is the Western Maryland and Scenic 1309. This is their locomotive that they literally just got operating this year. And fully decked out for Christmas. And you can see this is a Polar Express run. You've got the conductor and Santa Claus both hanging out there by the pilot. And we have, just kind of a Christmas theme to some of these photos. Additionally, Scott Shields, who is a photographer and a volunteer with the Steam Institute in Owasso, Michigan. And Scott shared some amazing photos with me, including the cover photo off of this quarter's magazine. But I was actually able to put together an entire photo array of the operation and maintenance of a steam locomotive, in this case, the Berkshire class Pierre Marquette 1225. So some of these photos are in black and white. Here we see a couple of guys operating the turntable and lining up for the roundhouse. And this is one of the photos that is part of that photo array.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. another photo that made the array. We have, so for any of you that have seen, there is an Amazon series called Have Steam Locomotive Will Travel, or Have Steam Engine Will Travel, something like that. And it features these Grambling father and son that are in Indiana. And they have a bunch of small steam engines that they load on the back of not flat cars, but flatbed tractor and trailers. And they haul them around the country and operate them at different museums. And so this is the son who's part of that team, that father and son team, and he's operating the Pierre Marquette 1225 in this case. And then you also get to see some of, like this, for instance, the inside of the shop and some of the maintenance going on. And here they're doing a little bit of lubing up of the moving parts on the running gear there, it looks like. Mm-hmm. So this is part of an entire photo array, 3 pages that I put together, and it's all credited to Scott Shields for taking these amazing photos and allowing me to incorporate them into the magazine this time. It was really, really fun to be able to feature this crew, and they're going to have some copies of the magazine at their depot at the Steam Institute for people to see as well and kind of feature their work.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was something that it was just really fun for me to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Another photographer that is featured, his name is Ethan Brody. And right here is an example of one of the photos that he got included. This is actually, if I can find my notes here, this is obviously a smaller steam engine. This is Port Clinton, Pennsylvania. And this, I believe it's Central of New Jersey 113 that's departing the depot. And as you can see, they've got gondolas just packed full of people there enjoying the beautiful summer day. It looks like he's going underneath of a signal bridge that's had all the signal heads removed. And just a full head of steam pulling out of the station there. Mm-hmm. So that's a really nice photo that he submitted. Oh, yeah. Another photographer that we had, Luke Weisenried. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is the Southern 4501 pulling an excursion into Chattanooga, Tennessee. And yeah, really nice shot there, framed with the trees in the background, pulling across the bridge. I know there's a few people here that are big fans of bridge shots, so that was something that I found a little bit amusing to be able to incorporate. Yeah. And then the other person who probably submitted about as many photos as anybody else is Chris Lastovich. And I really have to thank him. He submitted a number of amazing photos that I was really pleased to be able to include. One of them was this shot of the UP 844. This is out near Denison, Iowa. And I believe that he said this was from 2007.
Definitely before they started using diesel assist, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's running solo out here. They were not. I know there's photos out there of the 3985 running in a similar time frame where there was no diesel assist. Mm-hmm. They got head end power off of the steam locomotive and they ran them solo. So yeah, this is 2007 from near Denison, Iowa. And Chris also, I wanted to include this because this is kind of an honorable mention photo that wasn't actually in the magazine. But here's another photo of the 6988. Now this, I mean, I really like this. We're at West Liberty, Iowa here. You've got the Rock Island Depot, the former Rock Island searchlights there. Just a full head of steam powering through town. And you can kind of see they haven't really started to Americanize the engine yet. You've still got the red pilot. You've got the red number board with an Iowa Interstate logo on the front. Still got the green headlight. Mm-hmm. And they haven't altered the area around the smokestack on top of the boiler yet.
Oh, yeah.
So really just a very Chinese look to this engine at this time, which I think was also around that maybe 2008, 2009 timeframe, perhaps. Mm-hmm. Chris also submitted some really nice photos of the nickel plate 765. And we are going to look at one of those, which is on the Metro runs that it made in 2016 and 17. And here, even though we're on the south side of Chicago, we're at New Lenox. We're on Metro, and the 765 is decked out for a Cub victory apparently today.
Hell yeah.
Flying the blue W's on the white flags. And it's a great photo because it really gives you a perspective of the people that were coming out to see this. These Metro runs were very popular when they happened.
I think every single one of them was sold out.
Yeah, it was a really big deal when they did this.
Yeah.
And the nickel plate engine has made several trips around and through Chicago. This is just one example of it. So that was another example of Mr. Lastovich's contributions. The final example I wanted to give you was actually from the Heston Steam Museum in Indiana. And here we've actually got a photo. I actually did a whole kids corner in this magazine. So you've got one photo of Chris's sons taking video of the Heston and Galena Creek #2 pulling a excursion through the pavilion, through the grounds here at the museum. There's a photo of Brad Griefs that I've got in here of his sons rolling a train by at Quincy Avenue in Ottumwa. There's a photo that I've got of my two boys from a couple of years ago. We're actually down at the Cedar River looking up at the Iowa Interstate going by above us, down at the Cedar River landing by Moscow. And there's also a photo that was actually taken by Craig Williams' son, who is 7 years old and did a really great job taking a photo of the Iowa Interstate 6988. So the reason I include all this is because from everything that I've seen, these magazines really grab kids' attention. They love the visuals in them. Mm-hmm. And so if anybody has a kid or a nephew or a grandson or anything that's really into the railroad scene, steam engines, any of that, this is the sort of thing that they really seem to latch onto and enjoy. And I would encourage anybody to show it to their kids, get them interested in trains, help pass on the hobby to the next generation.
Most definitely.
So with the last thing I'm going to do here, because we got about 5 minutes left, I am going to pull up two things. First off, I've got a couple of Gofundmes going. Now this is going to show some of the old ones also. We've got the Carroll Depot webcam, which we currently have $400 raised out of a goal of 1,000, I believe, on this project. We have the Fort Dodge ATCS server, which was just wrapped up yesterday. We're going to have that. That's fully funded now, thanks to a big contribution. And we have these Dubuque and East Dubuque webcams and ATCS server. And this one, if you're on here, Mr. Ulch, I definitely appreciate your contribution the other day. And he deserves to be called out by name, made a big donation. So we're at $3,050 out of $4,500 that we're looking to raise. So we've got that about 2/3 of the way done right now. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing that I have that I wanted to bring everyone's attention to is our longest day of the year Railfan event, which is going to be in East Dubuque, and it's going to be the last weekend in June. Now, I realize that partly overlaps with Galesburg Railroad Days.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But it's a 24-hour event. It's overnight Friday night into all day Saturday. And we're going to be in East Dubuque, and we're going to try to document every train movement on both sides of the river for 24 hours. So if I go to Sign Up Genius and, if you were to, do you have the Steel Highway link in the description for the video?
I do. I have that in there, and I have the links to all the Gofundmes in there as well.
Yeah. So on the Steel Highway webpage, there are links to these fundraisers, and there's a link also to sign up for the event. And if this thing lets me in, it's going to show me how many of the shifts have already been signed up for. So right now, some of the day shifts are filled up. There's no one for this overnight.
Surprise.
There's no one for this overnight. I know. But you see, we got to get some of you guys that want to come out and practice some night photography. This is an excellent opportunity because you're in a town. You've got some lighting to work with. And then you can also bring along some lighting and add to it. But anyway, yes, this is June 24th and 25th, 8 p.m. Friday until 8 p.m. Saturday. And there's a link for this on the Steel Highway webpage also that you can go in and sign up for it. I've also shared links for all of these on Facebook as well. If you go to the Steel Highway page on Facebook, you'll be able to see all the different links for the GoFundMes, the Sign Up Genius, all of it. It's there. So we're at 9:59. I guess I'll let you wrap it up there, Michael, but thanks for having me tonight.
Of course. Thanks for coming on. So as I had mentioned already, there is links in the description below to the website and to the GoFundMes. So if any little bit helps to get these cams and ATCS servers up. I know
absolutely.
You'll be a very busy man.
Helps.
You'll be a very busy man this upcoming spring, I'm sure. So I believe that is going to do it for this live stream. It's a short one, only 30 minutes, but we covered a lot of stuff. When can the folks that subscribe to the magazine expect to see this in their mailbox?
So today is January 19th. On Sunday night, I'm submitting the final edition to the printer. It's going to be printed next week, and then I should have the printed copies on January 31st, and then they'll start going out in the mail on February 1st.
Excellent. Well, that is going to do it for this stream tonight, guys. I will see you guys back here for Friday night stream. It'll be 9:30, 10 o'clock ish. I don't know what I'm doing yet. We'll be back Friday night. Tom, thanks again for coming on here to show off what you've been doing.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep, I will see you.